Madison, hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good. Thank you for coming and doing this with me.
Yeah, I'm
You are
excited.
you're breaking a record.
Yeah.
You are the first person I never met until the day we did it.
Yep.
So this is cool.
It is.
First for everything.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. It is cool that you came as a recommendation from someone that I know.
Yeah.
So that makes it a little less awkward, I guess. But looking forward to talking to you and getting to know you a little bit. And I think I'd like to just kind of start just like I do everybody else and tell me a little bit about what it was like growing up as Madison.
Oh. I feel like my story is probably going to be like back and forth
Sure.
cuz my memory kind of blocked some of my childhood out, but um kind of has to start with my parents. They tried to get pregnant for about 10 years and then they couldn't, so they looked into adoption, and my biological parents got pregnant with me while they were going through custody battles with my older sister.
Mhm.
Um, so my biological mom wanted to have an abortion, and my biological grandparents talked her out of it. And they said, "Hey, we have this couple at the church. They're trying to have a kid, but they're looking into adoption. Please don't abort the baby. Just have it, and we'll take care of the rest. You don't have to, like, you can just sign your name. And we'll take care of the rest." And so that ended up happening. And I don't really remember when they told me I was adopted. I just grew up knowing, like, it was something we always talked about.
Mhm.
So I grew up asking about my biological family, kind of wanting to know who they were, especially during some of the more difficult times, like middle school, beginning of high school. I wanted to know who they were, and I was like, I wonder what it would be like if I grew up with them instead. Not because I don't love my family, but
Mhm.
because there were some things that were going on, and I was just like, I wonder what it could be like somewhere else. The grass is greener on the other side,
Sure.
but it never is. So probably childhood was normal, I guess. My parents are Mormon, so lots of church. 3 hours on Sunday. Can't, like, wear bikinis or anything like that. No caffeine. They didn't drink. They don't smoke. There's no cussing. No tank tops. So it's kind of, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot when you're growing up, and I have I guess, like, different challenges than my adopted family
Mhm.
because 'cause we're not biologically related, and, I got some mental health issues from my biological mom, and, so I kind of grew up feeling like I was on the outside looking in, even
Okay.
though my parents tried really hard, like, to make me feel like I was theirs,
Yeah.
and sometimes I forget that I'm adopted, but oh, lots of stuff to say all at the same time, I feel like.
That's okay.
Um, so when I think I had already turned 18 when I graduated because I was held back in first grade. And it was right before I was graduating, so senior year. And my mom put a postcard, like a Christmas card in front of me, like
Mhm.
right before summer vacation and graduation. And I was like, "What is this?" She was like, "Oh, well, that's your biological dad and your grandma and your grandpa." And it was so weird. I had wanted to know for so long, but I wasn't like I had just walked in the door one day. She
Yeah.
just put it in my face. So I took the postcard and like went for a drive and was crying a lot. And I came back, and she ended up giving me my biological dad's phone number, and I didn't know, but I had siblings. And so that was the first time I found out I had biological siblings, and I got my biological sister's phone number, and we talked for a little bit. Um, we're not the best of friends, so we don't talk anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't talk to my biological mom. The first few phone calls were weird. I think she was just expecting me to be like, "Oh, you're my mom. I'm gonna come live with you. I love you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me." But, you know,
You had a whole other family.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, I grew up there, they are my family. So when I'm talking about them, I'll say my family, and if I'm talking about my biological family, I'll say that. Um, but yeah, that was interesting. Kind of weird to go through life wondering who they are and then coming home from school and just having them in your face.
Sure.
And it was extra weird because I knew most of them because we went to church with them when I was up in New Hampshire. So I thought that they were just people I went to church with, just
Yeah.
friends. So I was like, wait a second.
Wow.
So it was weird. Um, but that was kind of jumping ahead. But that was just the whole adoption story and like family background and stuff. Um, Probably at the end of 8th grade is where everything got kind of rough. Um, Sexually abused, and, um, I didn't tell my parents at first, but the person that did it wrote a letter, left it in my mailbox, and almost hit my brother while he was leaving.
Oh.
So, um, I, like, heard the commotion outside, and I went and got it and read it, and that kinda messed me up, and I didn't tell my parents, and I had left it out in my room, and they found it and read it. And so, sorry.
It's okay.
So I came home from school one day, and they had all these questions, and I wasn't ready for it. And
Oh, so they didn't tell you that they had found the
no, I came
okay.
home and they were like, "Hey, we want to talk to you." And so I went up to their room and they had the letter out on the bed. I was like, "Oh shit." So that was interesting trying to, you know, figure out all that stuff cuz it was someone from their church.
Oh, wow.
Um his family didn't go to church and we all felt bad. And so we had like invited him over for dinners and um he would babysit with me. And that's it kind of happened for a little while until I realized like what was going on and I
Yeah.
could stop it. And that's why I got the letter and he almost had my brother cuz he was speeding out of the neighborhood.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, please
Um,
talk so I don't
yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
to.
I wanna touch on something or ask about something, and just because I'm very, very not aware of this at all, so maybe you can educate me a little bit. Like, can you talk about, like, Mormon being is it Mormonism? I don't even know what you
Um,
call it.
so now they don't go by Mormon anymore
Okay.
because of, like, the whole, Mormon wives or whatever.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They're not anything like that.
Okay.
So, there were a lot of people that kind of, like, subdivided and made their own, like, Mormon religion. So they go by, LDS, Latter-day Saints.
Oh, okay, I've heard of that.
Yeah, so the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints was known as Mormons, and now they just go by LDS because of all, like, the bad publicity on Mormons.
Yeah.
So
And so having that kind of, I'll call it influence for lack of a better term, because I don't
yeah,
really know what to call it otherwise. Is I mean, I think that religion in households is an influence on how you're raised or whatever in
the
some way, shape, or
whole
form.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's little bits of my life where it definitely put put a wedge between us.
Yeah. I guess I mean, I could have a whole conversation with you about just the curiosity that comes with
Yeah,
that alone, but in having that part of the equation here of this is the religion you're a part of, um, and then having to where we're at in the conversation now take place and have it be involved with someone in the church.
yeah.
So does that I don't know how to ask that question. This is
Is that what pushed me away from the church?
no, no. Did what's the reaction of your parents at that point? Because obviously, if you from what I understand, again, and I don't know a lot about being a Mormon, but I know it's like a very like church central. This
Mhm.
is a big part of what we do.
Yeah.
So like What's
It's
their
their
reaction
lifestyle.
in that situation of, like, do they look at the church differently, or do they just look at the person differently?
So they're very strong in their faith. So, one bad apple isn't gonna ruin the whole
Sure.
bunch for them. My dad is actually a bishop for them now, so,
Okay.
I can't remember exactly the reaction, but I know that me talking about it made them feel guilty because they let him come into the house.
Yeah.
So, and I already didn't wanna go to church, so I was kind of pushing it more on the church side, like, "Why are you still gonna make me go to church when this happened?"
Sure.
Um,
Yeah, it's big trust right there, like,
yeah.
"Yeah, I'm good on this." Yeah.
Yeah, so they eventually stopped making me go, but when I did go, my dad would, call up first and see if he was there. Certain people knew what had happened, so it was kind of like a, "Hey, he's not gonna be there today, she can come."
Yeah, that shouldn't even be a consideration, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there were a lot of church things I went to, wondering if I was gonna see him. Um, but it was weird because, like, a lot of his best friends were there, and, I was actually dating his best friend when this happened.
Ooh.
So it was very weird time, I don't remember a lot about it, but that was I think one of the things that really got me to push, like, why do I have to keep going?
Sure.
So they eventually made me stop going, um, and, you know, sad sad teenage girl, you know,
Yeah.
trauma. So, just floating along till I think sophomore year. Um, I used to go to one of my friend's houses, and her parents lived in Egypt.
Oh, cool. Interesting.
Mhm. Um, her brother was, like, the man of the house.
Oh, okay.
It was like a frat house, and he would come to the door and lie to my parents that their parents were, like, at the store or something, so I could hang out, and it was just we would go and drink and all that stuff, and, um, there was one night everyone had fallen asleep, and I got a text from her brother, and he asked me to come downstairs. So I went downstairs, and, he was like, "Hey, I wanna do this," and I said, "No," a bunch of times, but sometimes no doesn't matter, and I didn't know what to do, so I was like, "Okay, this is happening." Um, so that was 2 different times where something like that happened, and, I don't know, it kind of changed how I looked at people,
Sure.
kind of, like, you know, I don't I can't trust anyone, but I'm gonna act like I can trust you, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so it took a while to get over those. There was a lot. Um, Started going to therapy and got put on like depression meds and stuff like that. Um, Graduated high school, worked a lot for a while, and then like I would have 2 jobs at the same time or
Mhm.
work a bunch of overtime and then just go home and drink a bottle of wine in the tub and cry. So, it was fun. Um, and trying to think. There's, so many little things that happen between like the big things that you think like shape your life.
Sure.
Um, so I guess I graduated and fell in, a lot of people go through their like drinking and drug phase when they're in high school. Mine was after high school.
Yeah.
I was in my 20s and, I was just smoking. And that was fine. And then got in with the wrong crowd and um, found Coke and started doing that. And then I was like, hey, if I sell it, I can make money to buy more. So I fell into that. Um, and that lasted for about a month and a half because I'm not really the type that can do something kind of. I
Yeah.
either don't do it or I do it all the way.
Yep.
So it was like every 15 minutes for about a month and a half, whether I was driving, at work, you know, it was the middle of the night. I didn't sleep much. There was one day I called out of work. I was working at Cloud9, and when the manager took over, he was like, "Hey, I don't care what you guys do outside of work, like whatever. And if you ever mess up and you're at work and you need to go, just let me know." And I called him 'cause it was on my 5th day of being awake.
Oh, wow.
And I said, "Hey, I know this isn't something you really wanna hear from an employee, but I got addicted to coke and I'm going to detox and make myself come off of it. I'm done. But need a few days off for that."
Yeah.
And he was like, "I get it. All right, call me when you're ready." So that was really cool having a place where I could go through that and they didn't really judge me. I
Yeah.
mean, I became manager of a store there after that. Um, and then I got back in with it a little bit, which was what I was kind of telling you the story later.
Mhm.
So I had quit for about a month and I had one person, like I told all my customers, "Hey, I'm getting out of it. Please don't ask me for it. Find it somewhere else." I had one person that kept messaging me like maybe once a week. And I was finally like, "Fine, I'll buy it this one time, but you got to go somewhere else."
Yeah.
So he only wanted, you know, 2 grams, buying an 8 ball and making some money. And I had some left over. Um, I got pulled over on the way to his house, and I had my scale and all my baggies on my passenger seat, and I didn't realize it when I got pulled over, so I was calm and collected, and then when they went to leave, I checked my car, made sure, my seatbelt was on, good to go. I look at the passenger seat, and I was like, "Oh my god, there's no way they didn't see that."
Yeah.
So, I thought they were following me, they were trying to figure out who I bought it from, because who I bought it from was pretty sketchy, and I'm pretty sure, was part of the cartel or something. And, so I voluntary surrendered my car, ruined my credit, um, and was kind of jumping from couch to couch. I moved out at 17, so I was couch surfing for about 10 years until last year. So that was a little bit of it too. Um, But I couch surfed for a little while until I was like, "There's nothing here. I can't drive around these streets without seeing somewhere." I picked it up, dropped it off, did it, I can't do this.
Yeah.
So I went and lived with my biological dad up in New Hampshire. He drove down and picked me up. Um, Living with him was really weird because I was already, you know, when this was the end of 2022. So like 4 years ago, and, I think because he never raised any of his kids, he was kinda like, "Okay, my kid's here, treat him like a kid."
Right.
It didn't go very well.
Yeah.
So, I ended up being homeless up there. Um, I got a place, the people that I was living with, weren't taking care of it, and I was staying at friend's house anyways because it was, like, 30 minutes away. So I was basically renting a room that my snake lived in, and I would go once a week to feed him and check on him and
Mhm.
change his water and stuff, and, I was like, "It's not worth it," so I didn't have a room to go back to after I left that place and just kind of couch surfed and, would sleep in my car sometimes, and a lot of stuff happened up there. It just got to the point where I needed a break.
Yeah.
Um, my parents bought me a hotel room so I could just have a place to take a shower, not have to go into someone else's house and feel like I need to hurry or, not sleep at certain times. So it was nice having a break. And then I think I lasted like maybe another week or 2 weeks and I checked myself into the hospital. And that was really helpful. super scary at first. You think it's like, you know, people are gonna look at you weird.
Yeah.
Um, but it's really it helps when you're at that point. I was driving down the road at like 80 miles an hour and I'd be like, "That tree looks fun. I should go hug that tree."
Yeah.
So, checked myself in and um got put back on the right medicines, on the right track. Um, Ended up meeting someone up there, got engaged. We got married within 6 months of meeting. And I think we were married for a year and 3 months. We moved down here. My parents got us a house. We were just supposed to pay the mortgage on it, but they did
Yeah.
all the rest. And I got really sick. My thyroid decided to give out. So I have Hashimoto's, and it's an autoimmune disorder where your immune system attacks your thyroid,
Mhm.
slowly kills it. And I didn't have insurance, so I wasn't going to the doctors for all my aches and pains, and I've always had problems. I was on high blood pressure medicine when I was like 18.
Yeah.
So I ended up stop like going to the doctors or the ER because they would be like, "Oh, you're not dying, you're fine," and send me home.
Yeah.
So didn't go. I was getting really sick. I couldn't drive. Um, my ex-husband was, you know, picking up slack because he had to, not because he wanted to. And it got to the point where, like, I've had migraines before,
Mhm.
but my head felt like it was going to explode outwards. And the headache would get really, really bad. And then I would throw up and it would subside. And then it would come immediately back.
Oof.
And it was doing that, and my parents were about an hour away, and I was like, "Hey, I really need to go to the hospital. I can't drive. I need you to come get me." And they were like, "Okay, we're about an hour away." I'm like,
Oh.
"Well, I am sorry, but I'm calling an ambulance." And they were
Yeah.
like, "No, no, no, it'll be fine." And I'm like, "No, I don't think you understand. Like, I don't know what's going on. Something different. Okay, I know I've gone to the ER before. I can't. I have to go."
Yeah.
So they came and got me, and I got to the hospital, and I just remember um, them putting me on a bed in the hallway, and my head hurt so bad, and I was throwing up, and my mom, like, I guess I was sitting there for a while. So my mom shows up, and she said that they wouldn't tell her where I was, but she could hear me throwing up. Like,
Yeah.
it was bad. And so she followed that sound, and when she got there, I finally felt like I had someone else to fight for me, so I
Sure.
didn't have to stay awake, and I remember nothing from that point for about
Wow.
2 months because they were working to get, my medicine fixed. So, your TSH is the thyroid stimulating hormone, and your body puts it out to make your thyroid work, and if your thyroid's not working, then it goes up because it's trying to give your body more. The high side is 4.5, and my level was 52.4.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. So when I was there, they gave me IV medicine of what I take every day and will have to take for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And it was like 150 milligrams or whatever. And now I'm dosed down to 50 because it's gotten, but it was like 3 to 6 months of like changing medicines and having all these like I went to an oncologist, a cardiologist, neurologist, neurosurgeon, like all these different specialties. And I didn't have insurance. So
Oh.
I'm in debt a lot. Um
But you feel better, I'm assuming?
yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
do. Um it took a while to figure out like what the triggers were for it. Stress was one. So when I got divorced, I started feeling a lot better. um, and then I started trying to eat better, and I quit vaping and quit smoking, and that helped. And I started doing like 5 mile hikes every weekend,
Mhm.
and then I was only drinking water, and I lost a lot of weight, and it was the first time I had lost weight in a healthy way.
Mhm.
Um, I've kind of always struggled with my weight, and, you know, you could see me today, and I'll be, like, 170 pounds, and you can see me in 2 weeks, and I'll be, like, 130. So it depends. Um, so everything stabled out, and, I was eating good, living by myself, and I was just, like, sick of men. I was like, "You know what? I'm just done. There are too many shitty ones. I'm done." And then, I had met this guy in high school, and he was dating someone, I was dating someone. We just, like, met, um, while our friends were hanging out, and we had added each other on Facebook, and we kind of had, like, a little crush on each other, but we
Ooh.
never made it known. Um And so, like, we'll talk on Facebook every once in a while. I'll post something and he'll comment, and he'll post something, I'll comment. We like each other's pictures.
Mhm.
And it's like, on and off for a while.
It's the new wave of flirting right there,
Yeah,
you
it
know?
is. Like, not ever saying anything, just like having that one name in your head, like, oh, that guy.
Yeah.
And so, um, I messaged him one day and I was like, all right, do you want to go hiking? And he was like, I don't live near you anymore. I was like, "Well, where do you live?" And he was like, "Up in North Georgia, like 30 minutes from South Carolina." And I was like, "Okay, well, I have a hybrid, so I don't mind driving."
Yeah.
And he was like, "No, no, I'll drive to you. I'm not making you drive 2 hours to come hiking." And I was like, "Okay, good, because I have a good hiking spot." And he was like, "Okay." So he was gonna come that weekend, and I think it was like a Friday or something. He was driving his car to work and the timing belt snapped. And so he had to like pull everything apart, redo timing, and it took about 2 weeks. So we had about 2 weeks of me patiently waiting and him saying, "No, you can't come see me," and us getting to know each other. And then he came down to go hiking. And 9 months later, he's sitting here watching me do this podcast.
Hey, buddy. That's so cool.
Yeah, but it's really crazy getting into, a good stable relationship
Yeah.
after you've been in a bunch of toxic ones.
Yeah.
So, but it's nice having someone that just loves you for you
Yeah.
and you're just able to be yourself.
And be supported.
Yeah, because 'cause I've never really, felt like I could be myself around everyone. So, it's nice getting to know him and myself.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I want to can I ask a couple questions?
Yeah.
So, and I don't wanna, like, dig this up too much because I understand that this is, like I just had one question about the
No, you're fine.
yeah.
Ask whatever you want.
So, the, um the, abuse that you went through, you touched on the fact that you had to ask about, is he gonna be at church or whatever, so I'm assuming nothing happened to him.
Yeah, no.
Okay, and then same with your friend's brother.
Mhm.
No, nothing
I had told my friends about her brother,
and nothing
and
but nothing
they
happened.
they did not believe me.
Oh,
And
fun.
then I became like the school slut because I was,
Yeah.
making up stuff.
Yeah, it's so funny to me because I will say from an outsider's perspective of, I've never been through anything like that.
Mhm.
I don't even begin to understand how that feels, so I'm not gonna judge and I'm not gonna say that, but, you see, especially with the internet culture and everything else, all these people, like, with people not being believed and people, being judged,
Yeah.
and it's just so interesting to me that that keeps people quiet and people do then on the other side, it's like, "Well, why didn't you say anything?" And it's like, "Well, because this is what happens."
Yeah.
And it's so interesting to have someone that's been through that to ask their perspective about that, because to me, it's always one of those things, like, personally, again, I've never been through anything like that, but I am never going to like, if I feel a certain way or I feel strongly or there's some like, "Hey, 911, red flag," like,
Yeah.
I need to tell somebody this, I'm gonna say it. Like,
Yeah.
there's never gonna be no one ever has to wonder how I feel or you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I guess I just thank you. I guess I just wanted to ask from your perspective, when you see those kind of things take place, given what you've been through yourself and knowing that A, you weren't believed, and B, nothing happened to the people that did it. Like, how does that make you feel on the other side?
So, there was another aspect to that, my friend's brother, we would go there and drink and stuff like that, so, obviously, I was drunk, and I was told it was my fault because I was drinking.
Sure.
Um,
Heard that excuse, I'll say, for lack of a
yeah,
better term.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's not my fault, it's not anyone's fault who it happens to, and it took me a long time to figure that out.
Yeah.
So,
What's your stance though, like when you see others that struggle? Like, are you a hey, speak up, or are you more of a hey, I'll support you, or how
it
does that?
depends on their situation, honestly, it's different. I mean, like, because the first time it happened, I had, like, a letter. He, like, specifically said,
Yeah, so
"I'm
there's
sorry."
proof.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and my parents read it, but it wasn't something that, I you don't wanna stand in front of a judge and a jury and talk about what happened to you. Like,
sure.
this is different. This is, like, 15 years later.
Yeah,
But when it first happened, there were so many triggers, like metal music, I couldn't listen to it. Um, uh, if you said the word rape, I would start crying. Um, certain cars, because of what he drove, I still see red Frontiers, and I'm like,
really.
yeah,
Yeah, see, that's why
it's
I
it's
think
a lot, and it's
yeah,
not just like the fact that, oh, are you gonna be believed? Are you gonna get justice? You also have to deal with putting it into words because you don't know what just happened.
sure.
And so you're kind of figuring out like you're in this meat suit that, you're like, is this mine? Do I get to pick what happens
Sure.
with it?
Yeah.
So it's like, I do get to pick what happens with it, and I don't want to talk about this right now.
Yeah.
And so I think it's partially that, and then also the fact that, both of those people were a lot older than me.
Yeah.
So, who are they gonna believe?
Yeah. I will share with you too. I'm not going to give any names or anything because I don't know who watches this or doesn't or whatever. But I dated a girl back in the day, long, long time ago, that had a situation with her stepfather, and she struggled with it all the time. And when I was younger and I didn't understand, it was hard for me to really understand. And sometimes, admittedly, I would think like, I feel like you're making this up. Like this is correct, but young, dumb, not understanding how psychology works
Yeah.
or like to your point, the triggers. She had several things like that too. And her thing was if something triggered her, she would just disassociate.
Mhm.
Like complete like would just leave the situation.
Mhm.
And I never understood, again, being young and like never being through anything like that or understanding how brains work or any of that. I was
Yeah.
just like, this is wild. And she ended up in a hospital for a while, and it was very hard to watch. Um, and obviously we didn't end up together after that, and it wasn't because of that necessarily.
Yeah.
It was a lot of things, but um, and I think she's since, made peace and moved on and had a life and all of that, which is great. But I just don't. It's weird to me hearing you discuss this,
Yeah.
and then like I had my own experience with someone that had dealt with it, and
S
you're kind of similar in like the what you're
yeah.
talking about.
That situation, that's insane to me. Cause like, when you said that, in my head, I was like, I just had to think about it once a week going to church.
Yeah,
But she probably lived with him.
yeah,
So
there,
that's horrifying, like, you
yeah,
don't have any space to think about how you feel or how to handle it or who you can go to because the only person you trust is married to that person.
sure, yeah,
And
and
that all ran through my head in, like, 2 seconds. I would not
I,
wanna go through that.
I will tell you too, and it's what kind of jogged my memory about it as well, is that yes, you're absolutely correct. and she went to her mom and was like, "Hey," and wasn't believed at first.
Yeah.
So she had to continue to kinda cope with that, and, like, hearing that, what you're dealing with, and, like, kinda thinking of, like, I will be all the way real, like, I handled that situation very poorly because I didn't understand.
Yeah.
And, um, I it's just so interesting to see the similarities of the way that you both kinda dealt with it.
Mhm.
And obviously, like, again, she worked through her thing. I don't know anything about what she's got going on now, but man, I wish her the best, but
Yeah.
no bad blood or anything, at least on my end. Um, it's just it bothers me that, like, she never got, like, true justice, like, you never got true justice. You guys just kinda were tasked with figuring it out,
Yeah.
and I don't think that's fair.
Yeah. From a justice standpoint, I feel like, for my situation, it wasn't now I can see justice is more like, do you feel comfortable with yourself
Sure.
again? Like,
Yeah.
do you feel safe again? Because that was the biggest thing. And, figuring out how you can deal with it. And if you forgive yourself for all those things that you did wrong in that situation.
Which is nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you were told all those things. So,
Sure.
like it was hard, figuring out how to deal with that. And I think it wasn't anything that therapy could do. Because honestly, I didn't realize that I was so messed up from that middle school experience until I went to therapy and I told her about this nightmare that I kept having.
Mhm.
And it actually woke me up because I was like, I screamed in the nightmare and screamed in real life, and it woke me
Oh.
up. And I told her about it. She was like, "Oh, people don't normally have nightmares like that unless they've been sexually abused. Have you been?" And I was like, "Well, I wasn't ready to talk about that. Like, that's why I haven't told you about it yet." So it's just kind of crazy how the brain works. And like, you can either deal with it or, disassociate or forget whole sections of your life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild how our brain is built to actually protect us.
Yeah.
And, like, it does so many incredible things that you just take for granted, I think sometimes, like
Mhm.
breathing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
Like,
what is that?
we don't consciously have to do that,
Mhm.
and then, like, things like trauma that, your brain just over time develops a way to protect you from having to deal with it.
Yeah,
It's crazy how that
it
works.
is.
I do like, and I wanna be clear too, like, when I say justice, I'm glad that you found your way. I think, like, for me, and again, this is just my opinion, and
Mhm.
it's you can take it for however you want, but, like, I don't want that to ever happen to someone else, you
Definitely.
know?
Yeah,
And if that person's capable once, they're capable again. It's kinda like a cheater,
it
It's
is,
like
yeah.
they say that that's how that goes.
And I think more with, like, now that I'm more healed now, speaking out would probably be better for other people,
Sure.
but in that moment, it's not always the best thing for yourself.
Yeah.
Because there was also the other aspect of, like, "Oh, my parents let them into the house, they're already embarrassed, like, what
Mhm.
are people gonna think of my parents?"
Yeah.
And then, what am I gonna have to do with that? Like, so, there's just so many different angles that you don't think about until you're in that situation, and then you just do the best with what you have,
Sure.
which, isn't a lot when you're in 8th grade, but
Yeah. I have a this is maybe an unpopular belief, and you can you can laugh at me or tell me I'm silly or whatever, but to me, people that hurt children, especially in that way, or people in general, children or not, when you have to go the rest of your life dealing with the trauma that you have, I don't think prison's enough for those people. I think they deserve a wood chipper,
Yeah.
and I think they deserve it. I don't think there is no they say, like, prison rehabilitates people, and sometimes I'm sure it does, but
I don't think that's the place to rehabilitate that.
I agree.
Yeah.
Wood chipper. And I think it should go on pay-per-view 'cause, we're all weird, and people would pay to watch that,
Yeah.
and I think it should go on there, pay-per-view, and the victim should collect the money, and we move on. Because you know what? And this is I'm not gonna get on like a huge soapbox here or anything, but I just feel
Oh, there's a
like
tissue on the table for me.
I just feel like that there is something to be said for accountability, and there's something to be said for accountability in front of others. You know, like in other countries, if you steal, you lose your hand.
Yeah,
And then guess what? People stop stealing
yeah,
because they see the ramifications for that.
yeah, and I think
And
most people in this country, like, would be like, "Oh, wow, wood chipper on TV, take the money, that's kinda crazy," but also, you know, we've been s especially with the Epstein files going on,
yeah,
like, no one wants people to talk about that.
wood chipper,
Yeah,
all of them.
all of them,
I'm saying
and the
like
people that are redacting everything and keeping everything in closed doors, all
wood
of it.
chipper,
Yeah,
wood chipper. I'm
mhm.
saying, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I just
I think right now it sounds weird to people, but if it started happening, they'd be like, "Okay, no, I see. I get
yeah.
it."
No, I genuinely believe that like it's weird because like growing up I won't say like a version of the wood chipper, but like kinda like my parents were very strict on me, and so I was disciplined for literally everything. But it was to the point where, like, I knew not to do certain things.
Mhm.
You know, it wasn't, like, egregious, you know, I wouldn't say I was, like, abused by any means, but,
Yeah.
like, if I did something I wasn't supposed to do, there came a time where all it took was a certain look, and I was like, "Shit."
Yeah.
Like, it's over, you
Yeah.
know? But I had accountability for my actions,
Mhm.
and I think we've just lost that.
Completely.
Yeah, and
Definitely.
I unfortunately, and again, I don't know if it's popular or not, I just think wood chipper, and then we're good.
Honestly, I think part of the reason we've lost it is because just looking back at my parents, like, we
Mhm.
never got spanked for anything bad we did because my mom was chased around the house and would hide under her bed until her dad went to work.
Mm.
So that was something she made clear before they had kids or
Yeah.
before they adopted me, like, "We're not hitting them. We'll talk to them and, teach them." But if you don't spank at all or, you go from my grandpa to not spanking at all, there's, like, a big disconnect. I think we need a little bit of it,
Yeah.
but not to the point where, people were getting abused and they were
Sure.
calling it discipline, and then they were like, "My kids are never being touched because I don't want them to go through that."
Sure.
So,
I just think when it comes to, I guess, when you've changed someone's life by your actions and they will never get that back,
yeah.
you don't get a pass for that.
Yeah.
You just don't. And I mean, I guess we all have those moments. Like you could probably think of a conversation that you had with someone that impacted your life.
Mhm.
I mean, in a physical or a violent way. Like
Yeah.
there should be no, mm-mm,
Mm-mm.
yeah, whatever. Just my opinion.
No,
And
I agree.
I hope that the people that have hurt you get what's coming to them,
I
or have already had it.
I feel like when I just think back to both of them, I'm pretty sure they're living pretty shitty
Good.
lives.
They deserve it.
So, I'm doing a lot better than they are.
Absolutely.
So, I'm
That's
happy with that.
that's good. That's awesome.
So, and hopefully, me not speaking up didn't affect other girls, but I'm good.
Yeah. I
So,
mean, at the end of the day, the best way to take care of others is to take care of yourself first,
yeah,
you know? And I think that, again, we're at a point where you and I are sitting down, you're able to talk about it, which is awesome. And you never know who watches this,
yeah,
and that's the whole point
yeah,
is that you can hope that somebody that needs to hear your story hears it, and that's that, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Um, I also had a question, 'cause unless you wanna touch on that portion anymore, I don't wanna bring it up too much because I just
Questions, go ahead.
okay. Yeah, so, moving on into, like, your your, I'm gonna call it your Scarface days, because that's a
Yeah.
good way to correlate, I
I
guess.
I started calling myself Elsa,
Oh,
the Snow Queen.
yeah. So that's such an interesting that's an interesting thing. It's never been something that's, like, been a part of my life, so I don't understand that world.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, in such a I knew a lot of people in my life that have used certain substances, but mostly just, like, the green leafy kind.
Mhm.
And so, like, that's, like, a little less stigma. Where I'm from, it's legal now, you can just go buy it at a store.
Yeah.
Um, so, like, w can you talk a little bit about, like, how we get there? Like, what that lifestyle's like?
So, when people tell me not to do something, makes me wanna do it.
Sure.
My dad called
Curiosity.
me a stove toucher, so I touched the stove. Um, I'm trying to remember. Okay, so I was hanging out with one of my friends, not the best person to be around if you're trying to stay out of drugs.
Sure.
It's like the person that you can call up and go buy whatever you want at their
Mhm.
house whenever. Um, and we had gone to some collision place in Marietta, and his friend was working there, like master tech. And they started talking about it, and they were like, "Hey, you want to do a little?" He was talking to my friend, and I was like, "Well, I want to try. I don't want to be left out."
Yeah.
Like, and they were like, "No, you're tiny." Like, I'm 4'11", so people look at me and they're like, "You're tiny." But my biological mom, she did something while she was pregnant with me because I was born withdrawing and really
Really?
sick. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, anesthesia and pain meds take a little bit more for me. Um, and I think that's kind of why I'm like, I either don't do it or I do it.
Yeah.
Because I one of the episodes, one of your friends talked about, being able to do it on the weekends, and I was like, "You're lucky." Like
Yeah.
it was literally as soon as I started to feel like I could use more, I would go do it.
Well, and you said, like, every 15 minutes.
Yeah,
That's
literally.
yeah, that's
That's a lot.
yeah.
That's dedication. For
Yeah.
a month and a half, that's dedication. I remember the first day that I was like, "I'm not doing this anymore." And I went on a ride with one of my friends, and I was just crying. I was like, "I forgot what the world looked like."
Yeah.
I was literally either in my dealer's basement, in my friend's basement, or at work. And then, like, I didn't go to the grocery store, I didn't go clothes shopping, I didn't go hang out with people. That was literally me. And so I was just like, how did I leave all this behind
Mhm.
to, feel like that for 15 seconds, you know?
Yeah.
And so I got sidetracked. What was your question? How I
No
got there.
yeah.
Okay. So they they gave me the smallest amount they could, and I tried it and I didn't feel anything. And that was dangerous because I was like, okay, I could do more of this and
Sure.
it'd be fine. So I think I had someone I was buying weed from at the time, and he would send out like a menu, and it was always just weed. And then a little snowflake popped up, and I was like, and I looked at it for like 2 weeks before I was like, you know what? Let me try that. And I tried it, and that was that. It was bad.
I mean, then you started selling it too, and was the motivation to sell it just so you could have your own?
Yeah,
Interesting.
because
Huh.
I was broke.
Yeah.
I was putting gas in my money and buying cocaine. There was no, like, I don't even remember eating that month. I'm
Wow.
sure my friends made me eat some stuff, but I didn't go through drive-thrus. I didn't do anything.
Wow.
Yeah, it was bad.
So well, luckily, glad to hear that
Yeah,
we're past that
yeah,
point because nowadays it's very scary,
yeah.
with all the fentanyls and
The
stuff like
extra
that.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, what's weird is so I got a little into how I quit, and then that person had kept asking me for it. So that night, when I had that little extra for myself, I brought it back to my friend's house. And I was doing it. No one else wanted to. So I was like, okay. And I had been off of it for, I don't know, about a month.
Mhm.
And my thyroid started messing up then. So I would lost like 30 pounds since I did it the last time. And when I stopped, they were good size, and so I thought I could go back to that, and I almost OD'd,
So okay,
and I
so
flushed it down the toilet that night.
as a never user, when you say, is this like
That's, like, the line, like,
okay,
the length of it, and then,
okay,
like, you could do skinny or fat. Mine were fat and they were long.
okay.
So, I was doing a lot.
Okay.
and a couple of those every time, every 15 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, I was spending a lot and making a lot, and then I was also getting free Coke from the dealer. So,
Dang.
mhm.
So, moving from from that, so it's crazy because it's fun for me to have this because a lot of the things that you're talking about, which is again how we get to the seat here, right? Is
Yeah.
like you have a lot of experiences that I have never experienced, but I know someone who has.
Yeah.
And so it's cool to like dig a little deeper into it.
Mhm.
So Hashimoto's,
Yeah.
you're the second person that I've met that has this.
Okay.
Um, I shared with you earlier when we first met that I played music for a while.
Mhm.
One of the guys I played music with has Hashimoto's. His fluctuates his weight quite a bit, or it did. He did like a crazy diet for a while.
Mhm.
I forget exactly what he called it, but he like drank broth and like did all this stuff,
The
and
keto
like a
diet?
reset diet.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was very strict, like
Uh-huh.
no sugar, like all this crazy stuff, and it seemed to help him. But he's had issues. Doesn't sound like, at least as far as I know, the severity is not the same as yours,
Yeah.
but like it affects him differently
All the
all the
time.
time.
Yeah. It's very annoying. It is. And it's sad because the more research you do about it, um, so you have your TSH, the thyroid stimulating hormone, and then you have your T4 and your T3. And I sometimes get them mixed up, but one of them is like the first stage, and then your body converts it to what you actually need for your thyroid to work.
Oh, okay.
So when you're diagnosed with Hashimoto's, they put you on levothyroxine, which is a it's like a replacement of either the T3 or the T4, the one that has not been converted.
Mhm.
But most of the time, instead of having a problem with your thyroid, you have a problem with converting. So you already have all that, what they're giving you in the medicine, your body can't convert it. So your medicine isn't helping you. But your labs look good, so you're fine. So you can go
Oh,
home.
okay. Yeah,
And
and
that's
see,
why people with thyroid problems suffer for so long.
yeah.
You
He
literally have to figure out what your body wants.
Yeah, it's interesting because he's talked to me several times about, they changed my medicine, this one makes me feel terrible,
Mhm.
this one makes me feel this way, this one has me gaining a bunch of weight, this one interesting. So, like, he's sort of explained it to me before, and to be fair, like, I've done a little bit of research about it just because, like, I love the guy and I wanted to try to help him,
I
like,
didn't
when he was
find
going
out
through it.
that until I literally thought I was dying.
Yeah,
Like, my dad was like, "Okay, I thought you were a hypochondriac, and now I think that you're just, like you're psyching yourself out."
yeah,
And it got to the point where I was literally on Google, like, trying to do, like, doctor level research to figure out what was wrong with me,
sure.
because I would go to a doctor, they'd be like, "No, this is fine, go to this specialist. No, this is fine, go to this one." And I was in the doctors all the time. Like,
Oh,
I'm literally probably $50,000 in debt,
oh my god.
medical. Mhm. So, I mean, I don't care, it doesn't hit my credit. I'm never gonna pay that.
Yeah,
Never.
I
Unless
had
I win the lottery or someone is like, "Hey, you've been doing really good in life. Let me pay that for you." That's never getting paid.
I'll tell you this, so I had an experience, and I won't get too deep into it because it's a long story, but I ended up in the hospital for a week at one point, and I had to have 2 separate procedures. Um, Crazy, I had, like, an ulcer,
Mhm.
and I had no idea I had an ulcer,
Mhm.
and it was bleeding inside of me, and I had no clue,
Yeah.
and so I just felt bad, like, terrible, and I couldn't figure out why. Smell of food would make me feel terrible, like, and I couldn't eat, and I could not for the life, only thing I could really do was water.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, I went to sleep one night, woke up in the middle of the night feeling terrible, and just threw up so much blood. And I was like, "Uh-oh,"
Yeah.
because I had
That's
no
not
idea.
good.
Yeah, I had no idea what was wrong, and I tell you all that, it's a long, like, again, it was crazy, but they went and cauterized it twice, so they had to go in there and, like, basically just, like, burn it shut or
Yeah.
whatever, and, I had several $1,000s in debt as well. I had no insurance at the time. I think the 2 procedures were like 25 apiece, 25,000 apiece, and then, like, the stay for a week was, like, they charge you to let you sneeze,
Yeah.
so, but ultimately, it's been years at this point, but it ended up, like, falling off of all of everything for me at some point.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I think the hospital ends up writing it off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because this happened, I was diagnosed in October of 24. Actually, I got the My Chart message from my doctor with the diagnosis while I was at my grandpa's funeral.
Oh, well, how kind.
I know, right?
Lord.
And I was like, "What does this mean?" I was told to Google it, and that is why I started Googling and turned my honestly, I did make myself a little bit sicker
Sure.
with Googling and, like, all these different, like, "Oh, I could have this, and I have this symptom, but not this one, but these 2 cross, so I might have this." But also, if you look at how this works in the body and you look at this medicine I'm taking, it could be this. Like, it was literally mind-boggling, and that was my job 24/7,
Yeah.
like, figuring out what the fuck was wrong with me
Yeah.
because doctors weren't. And it really I think the day it changed was, like, when I decided I was like, "Okay, I'm not happy in this marriage. I'm getting a divorce."
Mhm.
And that was really hard for my parents because, Mormons don't really get divorced ever. And so, you know, they and it was weird because he's narcissistic. So, like, to everyone else, he looked like an angel, and I looked like this psycho, crazy, sick person that couldn't, go to the bathroom a month ago. And so it was hard getting through, like, my family to support me on that because he started investigating in the church. So after we were separated and he wasn't living with me anymore, he was going to my parents' house once a week to take, like, discussions from the missionaries at their house. So I didn't feel like I had a place to go that I could, like, hang out with them.
Yeah.
There were a couple times that I asked if they could hang out, and they were like, "Oh, well, he's coming tonight." I was like, cool. I'll just sit at my house alone. Thank you."
Yeah, it's,
It was interesting. There are a lot of things that my parents did that I didn't understand and I thought were, like, curated to make me feel like shit.
yeah.
And I realized, like, the older I get, they have a different mindset than I do, especially since we're biologically different. Um, and so I've been trying to look at more, like, how they see it. So
Yeah.
my dad's not gonna turn someone down that wants to, join the church because, like, his daughter's getting a divorce.
Yeah.
That's and I don't expect him to. He's the bishop. He's supposed to welcome everyone. So I get that. And there are some things, like, I kinda wish it was a little different, but they are who they are and they made me who I am.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, it's nice that you found your your acceptance of that.
you have to be willing to forgive other people and and figure out why they're acting that way to figure out why you're acting the way you are.
Yeah.
There were a lot of things that, you know, just kind of shut down. Like, I wasn't on Facebook a lot. I wasn't talking to anyone. Like, there were 2 whole months that I just stayed in the house. And I had to figure out, like, oh, I can't just get up and clean the house today. Like, I literally can't even get up and take a shower. I can go crawl to go pee if I want to, but that's all I have today. And so it slowed me down a lot to realize you have to be able to look at things in different perspectives if you ever want to be happy because
Mhm.
no one's ever looking at the world in the same way.
Yeah.
So, like, they could be looking at it this way and say something that makes sense to them that's not mean at all, but you take it in the wrong way. Why wouldn't you just try and see, like, how they're thinking about it
Sure.
instead of just automatically like, "Oh, they're out to get me."
Yeah. I think there's a lot of unfortunately, people are very selfish.
Mhm.
And I think that sometimes it's necessary to be selfish. I think before you can be selfless, you have to be selfish.
You do.
And because it kind of goes back to what we were saying before, it's like you have to take care of yourself before you can take care of someone else. You got to love yourself before you can love someone else, and so on
Yeah.
and so on.
It's like on the airplane when the mask falls, you have to put yours on first.
Correct. Yeah. And so I just, I think you really hit the nail on the head there on something that I completely agree with. Like you you have to be able to put yourself in others' shoes, even if they can't put themselves in yours.
Yeah.
Um, your parents and my parents sound very similar
Mhm.
in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Um, and I have yet to like come to that piece yet. So like that might be helpful for me to kind of
I didn't come to it until I started dating Rob.
yeah,
He lost both of his parents, so he has to be, you know, he's there for himself.
yeah,
And he doesn't have anyone to lean back on like I
sure.
do. And so, he has a little sister and he takes care of her. And so like me and my dad would get in a fight and I'd be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe he said that. Like why is he saying this?" And I would tell him what he said and he'd be like, "Well, I totally understand how you feel." Make sure I felt validated first, and then he'd be like, "But I can kind of see where your dad's coming from. He should have said it in a different way, but maybe he's thinking this." And it like opened up this whole world like, "Oh, they're literally doing what I'm doing, which is trying to survive
Yeah.
and figure out the best thing to do, and like every second is a different decision." And they were just trying to do their best. And so like I'm not going to be mad at them for that cuz there were a lot of things that I've probably affected other people's lives in negative ways, and I was just doing the best I could.
Mhm. Yeah, that's an interesting thought. I don't know. I think you again like hit the nail on the head. It's almost like the message is there, the delivery's bad, kind of a thing where you're like
Yeah,
he could have like
that's my dad.
he could have said it different. That's
Yeah.
my dad too. I think that he wants to protect me. And so
Like,
it's the advice is just
yeah.
the delivery's garbage.
It's a great example, and it's weird seeing it because, like, not that, Rob is the dad to his sister, but,
Mhm.
he's her older brother, he's there for advice, and when, they talk, I can see it, like, I can see me as a little girl talking to my dad, and us just not being on the same wavelength.
Sure.
And so now it's cool because, I'm dating Rob and I can see his aspect of things. And then I think about how I used to feel when something like that was said.
Mhm.
And so it's weird because I'm seeing it from both angles. And then I'll kind of be like, well, honey, instead of telling her this, maybe you just tell her this. Maybe you're like, because I know you understand, but the way you're saying it is coming off a little harsh.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, like, a great example is, and I didn't know if I wanted to put this on the podcast, but you know what? I'm doing it. Um, my dad was the one that told me it was my fault because I was drunk. And for the longest time, I was like, how could you say that? And then I told Rob about it because it still bothers me. And that was like, what, like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And so I told him. And he was like, honestly, he was probably just really mad it happened to you.
Yeah.
Like, he's not mad at you for what you did. He's just mad at the situation. He didn't know what to say. He was like, well, why? Why were you drinking? It
Yeah.
might not have happened if you weren't drinking.
Yeah.
And, like in my head, he said it's your fault because you were drinking. But he probably did say, why were you drinking?
Yeah.
And I just remember it as,
Yeah.
you know,
Again, it's the delivery. I
it
think
is.
because that's the dad saying, "Holy smokes, this happened to my kid and this is terrible and I don't know what to do, and I have to come up with a reason why it took place, and I need to hold her accountable for it because it's the only person I can."
Yeah.
You know?
It's crazy to look at it like that,
Yeah.
but it does, and I think that part of the reason it's easy for me to see, like, to look at what someone said was and be like, "Okay, they didn't mean it like that." Because, like, when I had 0 energy. I was literally my organs were starting to shut down when I got sick,
Yeah.
and, like, you know Um, just like a stupid example, say, like, you accidentally kicked me with your foot right now, and I'd be like, "Oh, no problem, it's fine." But, like, when I was sick, I'd be like, "Yeah, fine." Just, like, sound like a bitch. Like, I
Yeah.
have no energy to put any personality into it. And so, like, there were a lot of times where people would be like, "You're being mean." And I'm like, "No, I'm literally just sitting here trying to get words out of my mouth. I have no energy for anything else, and you're
Yeah.
not trying to understand what I'm going through. Like, I'm not trying to be mean. I love you. I'm sorry." And, like, there were lots of situations like that, and I'm like, "You know what? I just need to go and, like, look at it from other people's like, what if, her phone fell in the toilet this morning and she's just having a shit day because she doesn't have enough money to buy a new one?"
Yeah.
It could be the stupidest thing, but you come across different people at different stages of their life, and it's kind of ignorant to just sit there and be like, my way of perceiving what they said is the only way they could have meant it.
Sure.
So,
Yeah. That's good perspective. And it's funny, I know you've watched some of the episodes and we touched on this in one of them, that I'm a firm believer that everyone should have to work retail or in a restaurant at
yep.
some point, and you learn that really quick in those environments
Mhm.
because I worked at a steakhouse and it was like, "This isn't medium," and,
Yeah.
like, people would throw the biggest fit, and it's like, "Dude, I can totally cook it again, and you're
Yeah.
still gonna get your food."
You could just say, "Hey, can you change this, please?"
But what was their day like?
They're hangry too. They're
Yeah,
coming to you for see, I worked at O'Reilly's. People were pissed off because their car was broken.
yeah,
Yeah, they were just always in a bad mood.
yeah.
And also because like, I was a girl, so, you know
How could you possibly know about anything? Yeah.
exactly. And it would be funny when the other guy, because I worked there for almost, like, 8 years on
Mhm.
and off, and I ran a store temporarily while the manager was, like, out on vacation for, like, over a month. And I think it was just like I still miss that job. I tell Rob all the time, like, I wish I could go back to O'Reilly's. But I was young and stupid and not on the right medicine when I worked there. And so like there's no way they'll never take me back. But I've already worked there 3 times. But yeah, you like there was one day this girl and her mom came in, and I think they were from Jamaica. And the mom went to, like, aisle 6 looking for something, and the daughter was standing at the counter talking to me, and we were just laughing about something completely unrelated.
Mhm.
Her mom just comes flying around the corner. "Don't talk about me in front of my back, behind my face," like, all the like, just jumbled words because we're not the same language,
Right, right,
and
right.
she's mad, and I'm like, "I wasn't laughing about you, I don't get it," and she was, like, trying to come over the counter, and her daughter was, like, grabbing her. I
Oh,
remember I had, like, 911 dialed on my phone, and I was, like, shaking, I was like, "I'm gonna call the police." Yeah, it was bad,
it's
but,
wild.
like, we literally weren't even talking about her at all. It was
Wonder
crazy.
what her day was like prior to that,
I don't know,
or her
but
life, I
probably
suppose.
confusing.
She could probably give a heck of an episode.
Mm, yeah, probably.
Wow. Yeah, that's such an interesting, you got me thinking about the way that I think about things because the way that you described that to me clicked for me, and, like, I never
I
thought
like
of it
being
like
able
that.
to do that for people,
Yeah.
having conversations and having it click, and I like when other people do that. I'm like, "Wait a second. You just what?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not always the easiest person to talk to, because I'm very passionate about what I believe
Mhm,
and what I believe in
mhm.
and what I think is the right thing. Whether or not I'm always right in that right thing or not, but, like, to take a second and just think, like, how can, 1, what I'm saying be perceived, but also 2, what I'm receiving, how am I perceiving it?
Yeah.
That's good to, yeah, that's good. I'm gonna have to take that one with me. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Um, I did have a question too. So you were talking about your Hashimoto's. I know
Mhm.
we touched on that a little bit. Can you tell me what it was like to finally get a diagnosis and have, like, validation because all the
There
people,
was none.
no?
No.
Because everybody kind of looked at you like,
Well, that was after I got my diagnosis. They put
oh,
me on the medicine, and I still felt like shit.
oh, heard. Okay.
Yeah, so it was kind of going, like, through what your friend was going through, but probably, like, just on a bigger scale because
Sounds
my
like it. Yeah.
levels were so off, and so, like, I would have, like, lumps pop up and, you know, um, rashes, headaches, numbness in different parts of my body. Like, I can't remember all of it because it literally changed day to day. Like, it was so much I didn't wanna keep a journal on it.
Mm,
And that's what you have to do when you have, like, just a chronic illness because, like, you get there and you're just like, I couldn't go to my doctor's appointments by myself because I would get all I felt like I was a little kid talking to a teacher
sure.
about a situation that people wouldn't believe, like what we
Mhm.
talked about earlier. And they would just be like, "Oh, well, this level is fine, so you should be fine." And I'm like, "No, I'm not talking about my level. I'm talking about how I feel on a day-to-day basis." And you can't really make people believe your symptoms or make them believe that you're reasonable enough to tell them your symptoms.
Sure.
So, like, I had one doctor that was denying I forgot what it was. She didn't want to I was working at Sherwin's, and even though I was part-time, my manager found some way to keep my job for me and wait for me to come back.
That's cool.
And when I went to go back, I needed paperwork from my doctors, and she was refusing to sign it. She said, "No, you're not sick enough to, stay out of work or for me to say that you needed to stay out of work. You're making it up." And I was like, I'm not at all."
What is sick enough?
It
Like, that's a
Exactly.
wild
I
thing to
was
say.
working at a paint store, like, lugging 5-gallon buckets around,
Yeah,
like, "I'm too sick to get up and pee by myself right now, lady." So,
that's wild.
it's insane, and I'm very glad I'm out of it, and I've noticed that it's going to be easier going forward, because when I was on, like, my strict diet, which was literally, like, I stopped eating, and then when I started eating again, I was like, "Let me pick simple things that I know won't get me sick." So I started with scrambled eggs and, Chick-fil-A grilled nuggets, and that's all I ate, like, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, um, for, I don't know, probably, like, a month, and, yeah, it was just crazy, but, like, back then, I could eat, like, 1 cheeseburger and feel like shit for 3 days.
Wow.
So I was like, "I cannot break my diet at all." And now I've figured out, like, yeah, I can kinda eat shitty. It's more about, like, my mind, my mental. Because if I get super stressed out, I get really, really sick. Like, my thyroid swells up to the point where it feels like someone's hand is on my throat, and
Wow.
I can't take it off.
That's wild.
It is, and that was one of the symptoms that, like, I was like, I it was to a point where I could not lay down. Like, laying down made, like, too choky.
Wow.
So I was like, I had to, like, take naps sitting up and stuff. So, but now I can, I've come off my diet, obviously. Um, and, I kinda eat whatever. We try and eat better, because Rob actually found out that his thyroid is, a little messed up. So it's good that we have the same thing and we can kinda work off each other and eat the same stuff, but yeah, it's honestly the fact that I have someone who not necessarily like he obviously he doesn't understand everything that I'm going through,
Sure.
but he understands that I need empathy when I'm going through stuff
Yeah.
like that. And he's just there and he does the right thing even though I don't know what the right thing's supposed to be. Whatever he does, it's the right thing.
Yeah.
It always makes me feel better. And we've been together for 9 months now, and there have been a few situations where in my brain I was like, "Oh shit, I'm getting sick again. Like everything's going to fall apart again. I'm going to lose everything." And I got better like the next day because I'm not stressed with him. It's so easy. It's like my thyroid's like, "If you're not stressed, we'll leave you alone for the most part." So,
Wow.
mhm.
That's a good segue too. I wanted to get to, I feel like, and I don't want to make this sound bad because it's not. I think your story up until this point has been like a little like a lot of trauma and then like kind of figuring it out and now like being happy. And
Yeah.
so, like, we get to talk about the happy
It's
part.
great.
I'm
I love
very
it.
yeah, so you guys been together 9 months,
Mhm.
high school crushes without, um, knowing it
Yeah.
necessarily. So walk me through, like, a little bit more about your relationship, like, tell me more.
Oh, yeah. We're the same person. Like, literally, we like he was telling you earlier, we don't have arguments, and it's literally because we think the same.
Yeah.
Or, like, we both have the same, like, calmness.
Mhm.
Like, no matter what question you ask me here, like, I will be able to sit through you trying to word it correctly to not sound
Yeah.
offensive.
Yeah.
Most people are like, "Wait, stop right there. I don't like what you said." And we're really good at just, like, waiting and hearing the other person out, but it's weird because, like, even the little stuff that, used to annoy me with other people, it just doesn't, and I don't know. It's like I feel like I've known him forever.
Yeah. Well,
It's
you kinda
it's
have.
well, I mean, like, you hear people say that even
Yeah.
when they meet someone for the first time, it's weird. It's just like, I don't really it was hard doing the podcast because I don't really like, when we started dating, my life felt separate from,
Mhm.
like, then on. So, it's like a bunch of lives, like 1,000 lives, but they were, like, part of a past life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, your real life's just now beginning.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
super
that's what it
cool.
feels like, and honestly, like, we just have so much fun together. Like, I mean, I don't have a real job because I can't keep one. If I have a set schedule and someone that's relying on me for something, I psych myself up at home and I just get sick,
And here
and
comes
I
stress.
I can't keep the job.
Yeah.
It's bad, and, like, even working part-time at Advance, I thought I could do it, and I was doing really good, and then they offered me a store manager position, and I knew I wasn't ready, so I was like, "No," and they said, "Commercial manager," and I said, "Okay, I'll take that." So I got a raise, and I was there for 2 days, and it was too much, and I was like, "This is sad." But no, we literally go door dashing on the weekends together. When he gets home from work, we go door dashing, like, it doesn't matter what we're doing, we're just always, like, having fun or giggling or, like, if we're not talking, it's not awkward, it's honestly like we've always been together, is what
Yeah.
it feels like.
That's super cool.
Yeah. It's hard to explain, and I feel, like, stupid when I explain it to people, so sometimes I just kinda, like I'm like, "I'm gonna sit back and let them just see how we act together,"
Yeah.
because I feel like one of those little schoolgirls. It's like, "Oh my god, he's perfect, he's my first crush, I love him, he does nothing wrong," and that's true, but it sounds stupid and cliché to other people, so that's why I'm not really talking a lot about it because it's just easier. Life is easier. It's worth living.
Well, that's great. That's it's it's interesting to hear, like, where you came from and then to hear where you've landed and the complete difference, of any of those sections of your life, what could have been
Yeah,
and what has become.
yeah,
Um, and that's it's super great. It's awesome, and I think it's amazing what can happen when a couple things happen. One, when you can learn how to forgive people, which it sounds like you've done.
mhm.
Two, when you spend your life with somebody that gets you and supports you and takes some of the weight.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
we do that for each other well.
Yeah, it's great. I'm super happy for you. I think it's good to root for even a stranger, So like I'm
Yeah,
rooting for you. I think that is
thanks,
awesome.
thanks, yeah. We're excited. We have the racetrack coming back there. We went to both hearings, in Banks County, so they're putting the drag strip back up near where we live because 'cause we're car people, so we're
Very
excited
cool.
about that.
What's your favorite car?
Mm,
Like if you could have one car, money's no object, what is it?
from which section of my life? Because
Doesn't
I have
matter.
different
Oh,
cars.
maybe not Tony, what is it? Not Scarface, not Tony Montana times,
Okay.
because that car would have probably been
That was my
crazy.
black Challenger. I had a '21 blacktop Challenger.
Okay, actually, you know what? Let's rephrase the question.
Okay.
Let's do it each section of your life, what would be your
Oh
car?
god. Alright, when I was younger, probably, like I'm just gonna spit this out, so it could be way wrong. Mini Cooper or,
Okay.
like, a Volkswagen Beetle, I don't know, something cutesy. And then, like, high school, I really wanted a Datsun, like, 240. And my dad said, "No, you're gonna get a super speeder." So I showed him wrong, and I got a super speeder in my Mazda 3. But, yeah, so probably that, and then I don't know, after high school, I'll just tell you the cars I had. I had a Sonata that my parents bought me for, like, high school graduation because I didn't get my license till I was 18. And then I traded that in because it started going in limp mode. I traded that in for a Mazda 3 in 2016, and it was a 2016. And then 2021, I wanted a Miata. So I went and got a Miata. I was very manic that day. And actually, I had taken this, like, it was, like a Tootsie Roll, but it was supposed to have, like, mushrooms that acted like DMT in it, and I took that and went to the dealership, and then I got my car on a deal. I walked out 3 times because I was trying to stall because I was like, "I can't drive right now," and so I was just stalling, and I ended up with a really cheap car, and, that was great. I loved that car. Great gas mileage, very fun. I don't think I got any tickets in that car, so that was a good car.
Yeah.
I should get that car again.
So maybe that's the one then.
Yeah, but it was the MX-5 six-speed, retractable fastback. So that was fun. I had I had a Mohawk. I had my Mohawk during that era, and then, when I started dealing coke, I was like, "I need a different car. Let me get a blacked out Challenger." So I did that, and the looks whenever I got out of the driver's seat and I had a guy riding with me, they were like, "Why is she driving your car?" And they were like, "No, it's her car."
Yeah. Well,
So that was fun. And then, yeah, probably now, honestly, I want an E30, like an old BMW.
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I think I always hear so many horror stories about BMWs, but given that you guys are car people, I'm sure you know that already, like all
His
the
dad was a Volkswagen Master Tech, and he's literally taken the whole engine out of
yeah.
his BMW, and
So you're good.
yeah, we're good.
There you go.
Yeah, we're good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So outside of getting a BMW, this is always my like one of my favorite parts of doing this.
What's next?
Yes. What's next?
I've seen too many episodes to know.
That's so cool.
Um,
Yeah. What's on the agenda?
Honestly, I'm just enjoying feeling stable for now, so I'm just gonna go with the flow. Um, but I would like to be able to find something other than DoorDash to make some good money,
Sure.
because my parents are still helping out a little bit with bills. Um, and I would like to be able to not ask them for anything else anymore. The house that they bought us when we moved down here, it's still sitting there empty because I moved out of it to move in with Rob. And I've how long have I been up there? Like 7 months now?
6, 7 months.
Yeah, so it's been sitting empty with them paying the mortgage on it for 6, 7 months now. So, if anyone wants a house in Hiram.
Hey, you never
But,
know.
yeah, so I don't know. I want to find something to be able to make money, but not struggle with health while I do it.
Yeah.
Because any like job that I try to get that's like hourly, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So
I wonder. Oh, hopefully, given it seems to me, and I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I'm old, but every era of life comes with like new technology and new medicine and new
yeah,
whatever. Who knows?
yeah.
You know, you might end up getting. I don't know that there's ever a cure for anything autoimmune, but
Well,
some relief.
that sometimes yes, I think, but this one, like my immune system has already like killed half my thyroid, so I can never come off that medicine again.
Mm.
So, yeah, that's a lifelong thing, but it's also weird because, like, there's a lot of, like, people who have radiation poisoning, their thyroid looks a certain way, and when they were doing images of mine, they were like, "Have you gone through a bunch of radiation?" And I'm just like, "No."
None, actually.
But then I'm, like, thinking back to some of the jobs I worked at and then some of the places I lived, and you think about all the things that are coming out now,
Yeah.
and you're like, "Where did I live
Yep.
that had a bunch of radiation?"
You
That just,
know,
like,
yeah. Yeah.
it's
So,
crazy. I try not to be a conspiracy theorist, but with how everything's going, I'm just like, I don't know what's real, so I'm staying out of it.
I will say
Stay in my
this.
lane.
I learned something new 2 days ago that I did not know. I met someone who is going into I forget the exact name of the profession, but it's in the medical field.
Mhm.
And he told me that there is actually a database of your zip code, and your zip code can predict how healthy or unhealthy you are. So there's like a whole, and it's a million factors. So it's like how far away from, or how much concentration of like fast food or no grocery stores or all these
Yeah, in the
things,
area.
all the factors.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And so he's like, you could tell me, where you grew up and where you live now, and I could tell you your life expectancy pretty much. And I was like, pass.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
Don't want to know.
I don't want to either, but they'd have fun because, like I said, I couch hopped for about 10 years.
Yeah.
So, good
But
luck with that.
and it's interesting that you brought that up too. I told him this yesterday or 2 days ago as well. My mom has what's called Benson syndrome, and it's a type of dementia. My mom's neighbor 2 doors down just passed away a month or so ago from complications of dementia.
They're saying that dementia is like I don't remember how many stages of diabetes there are. Is it like 3?
Yeah.
They're saying dementia is basically like type 4.
No, it's type 3. Yes.
Oh, type
Yeah,
3
so
would be the
it's
last one.
for type 1, type 2, and then type 3 would be, like, dementia.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's exactly like my mom has been diabetic since she had me, basically.
Yeah.
So, that's when she found out she was diabetic. I think she was type 2, and now, yeah, so here she is, and my brother's wife is a nurse, and she was the first person that I ever heard wave the flag of, it's basically type 3 diabetes.
Yeah.
And I'd never heard that before, and now you hear it all the time.
Yeah. And it's insane because like they're like all the case studies, they're mainly done on men.
Hmm,
And so like girls don't have as much medical research than guys do. Like he caught his thyroid like within a year of it happening. My thyroid has probably, now looking back at all the symptoms and thinking about it, it's probably been messing with me for 12 years.
yeah, and how would you know?
And no one ever caught it. No
Yeah,
one ever did blood work. No one ever was like, "Oh, she keeps coming in complaining about all these stupid little things. Maybe we should look into that further."
wow.
So, yeah, I feel like Wellstar in general sucks. They're literally there to make numbers and like, "Oh, you have an appointment? That's 15 minutes. That's it." And like I'll do the lab work that I'm supposed to do, but I'm not going to do anything extra to try and find out.
Wow.
Yeah, because I had like they did lab work on me here right before I moved up to where we live now,
Mhm.
and they were like, "Hey, we think something's wrong with your liver again." Because I already went through the liver specialist. They thought I had stenosis in my left artery going to my liver. Um or my kidney, sorry. And so this time they were like, "Hey, we think something's wrong with your liver. Like, you need to go to a nephrologist or whatever it's called." I don't know. There's so many different names. And I was like, "Okay, I'll deal with that later. I'm moving." So I come up here and I go to the doctor and I was like, "Hey, can you run my labs again? Like they said that my liver was messed up." And she did my labs and she was like, "It's a little elevated, but I've never sent someone to a specialist." unless it was over, like, this amount, and I was less than half that amount.
Mm,
And she was like, "If it comes back high again, we'll do an ultrasound, and then we'll go from there." And I was like, "That's way better than just, being like, 'Hey, oh, yeah, you should go see this doctor.' I don't
yeah.
know."
Wow.
So, commerce is way better.
I it's weird too. I feel like so my friend that has the same thing, he found his in like he had a random blood test one
Mhm.
day and there was some sort of weird levels of I think it was white blood cells versus red or
Yeah, I'm
something.
dealing with that right now.
Yeah.
Mine have been high since 2017, and the doctor in commerce literally just caught it, but I've
Yeah.
been asking about it since 2017.
Wow.
"Why is this high?" And they're like, "Oh, it'll be fine."
Well,
Well, so what happened with your friend?
no, it's just that's how they found out.
Oh,
So they started running all the tests and
yeah.
they figured it out relatively quickly, but he just it's just wild to hear your experience with that. I know his to an extent and like
Wait, so they found out about his thyroid from his white blood cells?
mhm. I think that's what it was, white blood cells. I don't know.
Bro,
He had a blood test of some sort and
that's
they said
crazy.
that some sort of level of one of them was way out of whack. And so they just dug further into it and they found it out.
You see what happens when you do your job?
Mm.
I can't deal with well-star doctors. They literally do nothing.
Yeah, I'm be honest, I don't know what doctors he went to or any
Yeah.
of that, but yeah, that's it's weird to me to think too. We could probably have a whole episode about the healthcare system and
Oh, don't even get me
yeah, I
started.
bet.
Don't.
Yeah, I bet. I just I don't know, that's why I try my best to just take the best care of myself I can and I'm not perfect by any means. I try to eat as clean as I can. I try to
Yeah.
stay active cuz like if I go to the doctor for any reason, it's because something has fallen off, something is it hurts so much that I can't deal with it,
Yeah.
"Hey, this doesn't look right. Why is it green?"
Yeah.
Or, like, something like that. Otherwise, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fine. I have Google, and I'll eat honey or you know what I'm
That's
saying? Like,
kind of what I'm
whatever.
doing now. Yeah. It's just like all of the food that we eat nowadays. It's what's causing it.
Mhm. Uh,
It's everything. And
oh,
you
yeah.
can't escape it. Like the grocery stores, they don't even have like yeah, they have some good food, but compared to like what you would get if you just like raised some cows in the backyard.
Yeah? Yeah, but then, like, you gotta kill your pet.
I know.
That
But
sucks.
if you don't think about it as a pet,
Yeah, that's fair. Just don't name it. That's the key.
look, I can go back to my what'd you call it, Scarface days
Yeah.
real quick. I used to murder rats for my snake, okay?
Yeah, I don't know. I think, like, cause cows, horses not people don't typically eat horses. I know some people do, but, like,
Maybe
whatever.
in China. I'm just kidding. I'm so
You
sorry.
know, I saw recently, though, somebody has a lawsuit, it's escaping me the company. I know, you probably, but, it was like a frozen patty burger company that is being sued like heavy because they were giving people horse. And I don't know, I can't remember off the top of my head who it is, but
Mm.
there was like this whole thing about like, if you ate a frozen burger from this company between the year of this and this, you've eaten horse. And it's like,
Mm,
sweet.
thanks
Uh,
for telling me
yeah.
that.
Or you ate people or, like whatever.
I know the whole
Yeah.
thing with McDonald's and the files, and I'm like, "Ugh, I don't wanna." You've seen that, right?
No.
Where they're saying that there's like they're testing McDonald's and there's at least like 2 to 3% of human in McDonald's.
Sick. That's
Like it
awesome.
makes you not want to eat anywhere.
Well, I haven't had McDonald's in 14, 15 years.
I mean, think of the texture of those nuggets. It's just
Yes.
it's
No, I will say this too. My fiance drinks very rarely.
mhm.
Very
Same.
rarely.
That's another thing we get along on.
Well, when she does and she has a hangover, the only thing she wants is a Big Mac.
Mm.
And every time it's been maybe 3 times since we've been in the 7 years we've been something like that we've been together that
Yeah.
she's done that. and it grosses me out to know. I don't even like the smell of it. And like, I agree with you 100%. Like, it's hard to find good food, but it's doable.
Yeah,
You end up being a label reader, and you can
it's
figure it out.
also more expensive.
It is, but it's worth it
It is.
because
It is
it's.
so worth it.
Do you want to spend the money on the food, or do you want to spend the money on these pills for the rest of your life?
Exactly.
It's what you know.
Exactly. It's yeah. But it's also like you can't just take one diet and make it fit everyone.
That's absolutely correct.
So there's like, I guess this new thing where you can take a test about like what kind of digestive system you have, and then it'll build like a diet for you based on that to get
Word.
your gut health better.
That sounds amazing.
I know. Yeah. There's so many things that we could do, and then so many things that, we shouldn't do. And the things we shouldn't do is just easiest. Like, go to Wendy's and buy a
Yeah.
burger.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're not wrong. You know, at the end of the day, the most successful, and Christian and I have talked about this several times, the most successful businesses in the world solve a problem and or serve convenience.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter, like, so if it's convenient, people will use it.
Yeah.
If it solves a problem, people will do it. Oh, I got to run the kids. I'm not gonna have time to do this. Happy Meal, shut up. Here's a toy.
Yeah.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
And we all thought it was the bee's knees, but in finding out that it's literally designed that way.
Yeah.
So
It's crazy.
now we're eating people. Dope.
I
Dope.
love it. Honestly, I'm glad I can come out as a cannibal now. Cut that out.
I'm not. I'm not. It's staying. It's cool. I don't know. If I could,
Dying over there.
if I could, I would live like on several acres of land, have a farm situation. Problem is, if I had cows, I don't think I could kill them because I would
You
name
can
like
just
Steve.
go
Like,
to the
no.
town, and then they'll be gone when you get back. We could have the person for you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like, we
But
could all do, like, because that's what we want. We just
yeah,
want some land and a house and a garage where we can work on cars. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't like anything. I
Have
mean,
you seen that guy that he's like, "Hi, I'm very autistic and I'm starting a cult." And he's literally like having people sign up if they want, and like it's a cult so no one can like ask about it, or like he doesn't have to do certain tax stuff.
yeah.
But he's going to put together like a little community where people are like farming and
Huh.
yeah.
Sick.
I was like, "Let's go."
Yeah. I don't know.
His videos are hilarious. "I'm autistic and I'm starting a cult."
Yeah, but like, I don't know if you've done any research on cults in the past. They
I
never
mean,
end well. I don't know.
yeah,
It doesn't.
no, but you can tell he's joking about, like, the
Oh,
cult form of it. He
well.
just wants people to come together and get away from the society.
See, that's the thing too, cult-wise, funny enough, all the things that we're bringing up, they're saying that all of that has been created as well. We're gonna end up getting flagged on the internet. It's gonna
We
be
are.
great.
It is.
But they're saying that like Charles Manson, like all those people's MK Ultra, which is mind control from the
Yeah,
government and all this
yeah.
stuff. Yo, we're eating people.
The GATE program?
We're doing so much.
I mean, like, I saw something the other day where they were taking, like, at some point in New York, like, prisoners and doing tests on them so they didn't have to document, like,
Yeah. And military people too.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then just like it's crazy what they think they can do and what they are doing,
Yeah, I was gonna say
because
think.
we don't know about it.
Yeah.
But I honestly, I hope that whole, have you seen that April 5th to whatever?
No.
Hold on.
What is this now?
It's like March 5th to April 5th. Like no one's working or buying anything or driving. Like we're shutting it down.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't have that luxury.
Yeah.
I'm gonna still go to work, I think.
Yeah.
But
any amount helps. Like
that's
no
wild.
one's like there's Facebook groups if you want to go on there.
Wow.
People are like, "I'm not doing my taxes," and they have like tax specialists in the groups like hey, at least file them but don't pay them, and like giving loopholes and stuff like that, cuz it's getting bad.
Yeah,
What is that?
I think he's saying your head's
Oh, behind the microphone?
yeah.
Thank you.
This is helpful, you know?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like it.
See, because I've had a couple episodes too that I've done where like they cut out and I had no idea. So like it
Mm.
recorded 16 minutes and we sat here for 2.5 hours and I was like, sick. We get to do that over again.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I would
But
not be able to tell you the same thing twice. Like,
well, so it happened with a couple and it was actually kind of good with one of them because it allowed him to kind of like tweak some of the things that he felt he overshared on.
mhm.
So he was a little more comfortable, but yeah, I mean, it happens. I'm still learning. I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah,
And you know, whatever. I still have as good of equipment as I can have at the moment. You
I
know.
think it looks fancy.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat. My little fancy spot.
So fancy, I feel like I should be paid for being here.
Listen,
Just kidding. Cha-Cha's dying back there.
maybe next time.
Maybe next time.
Because see, that's why I like to end these with the open-ended, like what's next and
Yeah.
whatever, because it allows for the potential for you to come back. You check back in and how's it going? Did we get to
Yeah.
where we wanted to be? Do we have cows? Are we done eating people?
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I
Are the
mean,
files released.
oh, so many things. You know, would be it's gonna be super cool. We put this out there. You and I, we didn't get like super deep, but we got deep enough. And I feel like if we start getting flagged on the internet, like that'd be kind of cool.
It would.
What if we get canceled? I've always wanted to get canceled.
Okay. I can help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like being I think that would be fun. Everyone that I've seen be canceled ends up like super way better off after they're canceled.
Exactly.
Because they just are like, oh yeah, it's
They're
fine.
not in the matrix anymore.
Yeah. It's totally cool.
Yeah.
Or it like boosts their career through the roof because then they're
Exactly.
talked about a ton.
Exactly.
So like we get the podcast canceled, we blow up, we buy a trailer,
Let's
we take it
say
on the road.
Epstein a couple more times.
Yeah.
Epstein.
You know, funny enough, I was telling you guys about the podcast that I like to listen to.
Yeah.
And they cover a lot of current events on there
Mm-hmm.
and they go live. They do a live stream.
So that they can't get shut down?
No, they got shut down several times for talking about the files.
Oh.
And I said, what? Like, you're live.
Yeah.
How?
How do they shut you down when you're live? Oh, like in the middle of the...
Cut the stream.
Oh.
How? Also, I've seen several podcasts, people, performative or not, I do not know, that they'll be in the middle of their thing and they start talking about some sensitive stuff and like their software shuts off.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Phone's on airplane mode. We're, you know, like, what are we doing here?
I'm pretty sure that this will get flagged for sure.
We'll find out. I'll keep you posted.
Okay.
But I mean, is there anything else you want to talk about?
Mm.
I don't want to. It's a beautiful day. I don't want to keep you here. I know you have a long drive, and I don't want to.
We're gonna do some hanging out before we might dash around here a little
Sweet.
bit. See
Yeah,
how
there's
it
lots of
is.
restaurants.
Yeah, but honestly, I think, like I said, just enjoying stability finally, and like feeling like I can be myself, and then figuring out how to make a little bit extra money, make it easier on him because he's doing all the heavy lifting, and yeah, go from there. I don't know. I don't want to predict anything because, like I said earlier, like every second it's a decision, and every decision changes
Sure.
like what you're doing. So it'll be cool to see how it maps out.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. This is cool.
Yeah.
I feel like I won't lie. I was nervous at first.
Yeah.
Although we did introduce ourselves for
Yeah.
a little while prior. Obviously, we have a mutual friend. I was a little nervous to start, but I really enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah, I had fun too.
Cool. Well, let's make sure that we come back again. We'll talk. Obviously, now we know each other,
Yeah.
so we won't be strangers. And once we get taken off the internet, I'll keep you posted on that too.
Okay, gotcha.
But we'll plan for some time down the road, and we'll have you back, and we'll see how everything's going.
I like that.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again for coming. I
Thanks
really
for
appreciate it.
having me.
And maybe we'll have Rob on next time.
I like that.
If he feels like it.
I'll have to do some convincing, but
Okay.
yeah,
Cool.
I like it.
Awesome.
We
Well,
have a couple friends.
yeah.
Yeah.
Send them. Again, like we talked about, there's a little bit of apprehension about like strangers coming because we're at my house.
Have you thought about doing like an online thing?
Yeah, like a Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have. I just haven't. I know that there's platforms for it. I just haven't dove enough into it. I know you can, because
Yeah.
like, a lot of these, athletes that do podcasts together and stuff, they have, like, a split screen. They just
Oh,
talk
true.
together, you know? So it's doable.
Yeah.
I haven't done the research to figure out how to do it yet.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool because, like, even, if you do set up a studio outside of the house,
Yeah.
you'd be able to, you know, get people who are on tighter schedules or, like, people that are farther away that
Yeah.
wouldn't really like, it wouldn't make sense to make a trip to Texas if you only have one person
Sure.
to
Yeah.
so that'd be cool if you got that.
Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, I think it just I mean, the whole thing too is, like, everybody's asked me I shouldn't say everybody. Some people have asked me, the folks that don't really fully understand the point,
Yeah,
I think, are like, "What if you get a celebrity?" And I'm like, "Oh, if I get a celebrity, I get a celebrity, but, like, that's not the point."
yeah,
I would love for someone like that to maybe notice that it's happening,
yeah,
but, and this is something I think Christian and I touched on during his episode, is that at some point, they stopped living a normal life. It
yeah,
doesn't matter when it was,
yeah,
child star or musician or, whatever. At some point, their life does not look like the average person, and I don't mean average as, like, we're just average. I mean,
yeah.
like, the everyday guy that's like
Has a job, a
yeah,
normal job, and has to pay for, a normal house and doesn't have a driver and, like,
yeah,
all this stuff, yeah.
and now I'm not saying that every celebrity has it made.
Yeah,
Some of them are very tortured and have plenty of stories to talk about and whatever. But also, I want this to remain, like, as organic as possible,
yeah,
and unless someone with, I'll say, like, clout, for lack of a better term, like, really genuinely wants to just come tell their life story and, like, maybe we leave out the part, like, the end is not what's next, because like, we already know what happened after that. So
yeah.
just tell me the beginning, and then you can go,
Oh, I like that.
because
That's cool.
like, we all know what happened to you after that,
Yeah,
or at least we think we do.
yeah,
So unless there's some juice outside of the squeeze we've already gotten, then we're good.
yeah,
I want people to learn from real people that deal with real stuff.
yeah. Because that's I mean, like, it is really cool hearing from, like, everyday people, but also, like, coming on the podcast when Cha Cha first asked me about it, um, I was like, "That's so weird. Like, someone wants to interview me, I'm just a normal person." And, like, that's the point, but it just felt weird. I was like, "I don't know, I feel self-centered if I go on there and talk about myself for, like, however long." But it's I feel good, and I feel like, some people get something out of it.
Yeah.
And if anyone needs to talk, I'm on Facebook, so
I'll put your if it's cool with you.
yeah,
This is always something that I've tried in Christian's, I gotta add his business stuff. Did I do that, Christian?
No.
See, I need to do that in his
yeah,
show notes, put his stuff. I'm learning,
yeah,
but I will put, like, if people wanna contact you, I'll put your
yeah,
Facebook link and stuff in
yeah,
there and whatever, but
I'm down for that. I'm always honestly, probably, like, I'll probably never have, like, a career, but if I could pick a job that I could do, I would wanna, do some type of life coaching or therapy or, you know, I like talking to people and helping them when you said that clicked and you wanted to take it with you. I love
yeah.
doing that
Yeah,
because it's cool looking at the world from different perspectives and seeing how crazy it can get when there's so many different people looking at it from different angles.
absolutely.
So,
Yeah, I think that's super important. And I think, again, unfortunately, like we were kind of touching on when we were all getting to know each other a little bit before we sat down, like it's getting worse. People just they don't look at things the same. They don't talk to each other. We don't, it's very my way or the highway,
yeah,
my views or not. And
yeah,
if not, then you're just wrong. And
very
it's like,
separated.
yeah, if everybody just got together and said, "We're a lot more similar than we are different," we
Yeah,
could make some real change in the world
yeah,
because we would stop arguing and understand that, like, well, we're definitely getting canceled. The few thousand people that control the entire world, we outnumber by
yeah,
a great deal,
we do.
and it's designed for us to argue. So if we just stop with the pet, you can go back to being petty later.
Yeah,
Let's come together on this one thing now.
yeah. That's what that April or March 5th, April 5th or whatever is supposed to be. It's like just everyone showing, "Hey, we can and we will."
Yeah. Wood chipper, dude. I'm trying to say.
Yeah, wood chipper.
Maybe I should just get t-shirts, wood chipper.
Yeah,
pass those out.
Yeah, I love t-shirts, honestly. This is my dressiest shirt that I own. Um, yeah, I'm normally wearing like a graphic tee, so I would wear that all the
Heck yeah.
time.
Maybe people have been giving me the "you need merch," and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Well, maybe, maybe I'll make shirts or" what I really wanna make is, like, tumblers so I can
Oh,
give them to the guests so they have their water,
I like
and then they
that.
get to keep it.
That's cool.
Like that kinda
Like
thing.
a little party favor.
Yeah.
I like that.
I wanna be able to give people, like, a gift of something because, again, like you said, you called me out, you're not getting paid.
No,
So
I'm this is for other people, but I was excited to do
Yeah.
this. It's nice to be able to lay it all out, and especially like I've told those stories a million times, but not all of them to the same person and not where I'm at in life right now. So it
Sure.
was cool seeing how I'm looking at it
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
opposed to earlier when I would tell the story and just like ball up. So,
It's also cool too, in thinking about it in that way, you told your story to a complete stranger,
yeah, I did.
which is kinda neat.
Mhm.
In that should, if nothing else, empower you moving forward to feel more comfortable sharing with others that might need to hear it.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, this is my life. This is what happened.
you know what you could do is once they allow me to repost this on the internet because it will inevitably be taken down. Um, you can just if you're uncomfortable, just say, "Watch this."
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the coolest. And see, it all works together.
It
It's a
does.
beautiful thing.
It is.
Yeah, I think, like I said, we'll talk. We'll come up with a date to do this again.
Yeah.
Or if you have a specific thing that happens that you want to come back and talk about, then you just let me
Yeah.
know.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Open-ended invitation. All guests.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it.
I like it.
Who knows? Maybe we'll be in a different place because I've changed the studio like 9
Yeah.
times already.
Or
So
maybe you're in a trailer.
that was such a good idea.
It
It was
was. I
such a
know
good
he's
idea.
so smart. That's
I don't
why
want
I
to give it
love
away.
him.
Shh, I don't want to give it away.
I don't know.
'Cause we might. Maybe he needs to patent it.
Ah, okay. Yeah,
Because maybe he could build them out and sell them.
I like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
You don't know what we're talking about.
no, but um,
That was to the camera.
you'll learn. But anyway, Madison, thank you so much. I can't wait to see what happens with you guys. I'm super pumped for you both. I'm glad you found each other. I'm looking forward to eventually hearing about a lovely wedding and all of that. No pressure. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And I hope that you guys just continue to be happy and healthy together.
Yeah.
So thank you so much again for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank
Making
you.
the drive. And until next time, anybody or anything you want to say before we go?
No,
Sweet.
I froze.
That's okay. That's all right. Well, should we abstain? How about that?
Don't eat McDonald's.
Yay, cannibals.